Be right back. Making coffee. Well, greetings, fellow Earthlings. Be right back. Hey, Lewis, Shawnee Grows. Good morning. Make that coffee. A year of opportunities ahead. That's right. That's how I'm looking at it too. Yeah, Adrian. Good morning. Yeah, I've already have my all my plans outlined what I'm going to do, but it's going to be, things in nature. Why am I missing here? Okay. Maretza's Yarn and Crafts. Good morning. Yeah. It was an interesting week so far. I have the guys showing up for radishes today. I have to get out there. I have a friend helping me. So it should be quite a bit of radishes. Hopefully, at least 30 pounds of radish. That would be great. So that's my goal today. Yeah, it's radish picking. Oh, there's a lot of radishes in there. They're pretty big. They're like that. And then I have some turnips like that, probably 50 or 60 turnips. But I'm going to keep those for myself. But the radishes can go. They would make great juicing too. They have huge radish leaves, a giant German radish. There we go. But yeah, so I'll be doing that today. That'll be interesting. But what's coming up in the new year is forage. I'm going to be doing a lot of forage. It's one of my favorite things to do. And this year I'll make a video of my favorite bulbs. Oh yeah, you can juice the greens and the radish. It's a water vegetable. It's very good. It's extremely good. On my old videos, on my old juicing videos, you'll see me juicing radishes there. And just about anything that's green and grows here. Right? But the forage fishing, and I'm going to use my crab traps and shrimp traps from shore at low tide. I'll put them down. I'm going to be making a completely new approach. I'm going to show how to cook it too, how I cook it. And everybody can cook. I mean, that's pretty simple. But my favorite guy to watch cooking actually is Ark Wildman. Yeah, Arky there. The guy sits down in a bunch of dirt and has a fire and cooks his food. He's been living off grid now for a long time. Grant McIntosh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Ark Wildman knows his stuff. Yeah, he sure does. Really calm man, hey? Never really just, up and down or anything. He's just very calm guy. Good morning, Grant. Grant likes to go hunting, fishing, roast some food. Really good guy as well. A lot of good people come in here. And that Shawnee grows too. That was a great live stream you had last night. There was a lot of really good people there that have a lot of skill. You're lucky to have a village like you have. That's you're most fortunate. I thought you were going to do something like it was the Hunger Gap was your I better put that up. Hunger Gap. I thought you would have done more with canning, but like water bathing. What are some things you water bath? But that was interesting. The whole thing was really interesting about getting over that hunger gap. There's no reason to go hungry if you're proactive with food production in your locale. You know where everybody's growing. You know what you're doing. You know what you can trade, buy, sell, barter, give. That should be the number one. You know, I may even go live from the bush where I have a small camp this year. I have a guy that's coming with me that knows how to use the phone, and apparently I have cell coverage from there. I don't like to use my cell phone when I'm there. That's the whole idea of going there is leaving it behind, but it may help others to see what I'm doing. So hopefully the humanity is there anyway. It was an amazing chat last night. It certainly was. Certainly was. It spawned some ideas for what I'm going to do. So thank you for the great chat last night. I enjoyed myself. I had to leave right at the end. I think that's a good way to set aside food by canning. Yes, it is. But there's so many ways to preserve food, like just putting your berries in water and covering it and sinking the water. Now, that's good for months. Hey, eggs you can put in brine and leave for a couple of years. Arky just did a video on that. But there's a lot of ways that one wouldn't think of. Like, why would you store berries in water? Well, That's what the First Nations did on the West Coast here. When they picked their berries, they stored it in cedar boxes then filled it with water. And then they had fresh berries throughout well, sort of fresh, but they were they remained good eating. Let's put it that way. I've had that. And there's other things like on the coast where I am during the herring season, the kelp, all the herring eggs get stuck to the kelp. Now, that can spawn a few good ideas, no pun intended, by putting a fir branch into the water, like a bunch of them along the shore, for when the herring are spawning, the herring eggs attach to the branch. So then you just lift the branch out and it's loaded with herring eggs. I seen it done when I was a little kid. I hung out with these native people that ate off the land, so that was really cool experience to have. But you never think that's going to end and it's over, and you just don't understand. I think that's a good way to set aside food by canning. Yeah, water bath canning is what I really like because I like stewed tomatoes and different jellies and jams, that kind of thing. But canning meat or fish or chicken, it's it's an art form. There's several people on YouTube that have a lot of skills for doing that. And it is Pilgrim, so good morning, Pilgrim. Good to see you. But my foraging will start next month. My foraging, where I'll go and set because the low tides. First thing I'll be doing is getting some clams and crab, that kind of thing. And I'm going to be getting my kelp here pretty quick. They're high tides right now during the day. So, and at night I like to sleep. So, but kelp in itself, like the fronds coming off the bull kelp, that hung and dried, and you just cut strips like bacon and fried in any oil or grease, and it tastes just like bacon. So thanks for that live stream last night, Shawnee. That really set a good perspective on. It's something that's I do every day is make soil and produce food every day from where I am. But then again, I 25% of my food, maybe higher at times, as much as 50%, definitely comes from here. Many things were dried around here in the old days for preservation. Yeah, salt, vinegar, and sugar is was that was it, you know. But smoking. So I'm going to drag out the little chief or the big chief smoker, and you can smoke limpets. Just don't eat smoke purple or green limpets. You won't be happy with that. Well, some people are, but it's a psychedelic. So yeah. But most, not all, but most seaweed, 99% of all sea kelp and weed is edible, like bladderwrack, eelgrass, bull kelp. That's all edible. If you got no food and you're in the center of the United States or Canada, head to the ocean. There's food there, and it's a little easier living, and it's a little warmer climate by the ocean. In the interior or in the northern, that's a lot colder. It's a little more difficult to stay alive if you don't have a lot of skill and a lot of knowledge of foraging, trapping, but snaring wild animals is a big thing, and deadfalls. You don't necessarily have to have a gun or a bow. You just got to use this. So I I have snared rabbits when I was younger. We called it rabbit catching, and yeah. But I mean, we utilized everything, and yeah. There's 12 lakes in my country, in my county, but I am not knowledgeable in edible options near lakes. Well, you're in Minnesota, so you definitely would have Wapato potato in the reeds there. You dislodge them with your foot. There's a lot there. There's a lot you wouldn't think of, but if you could get a book on or an elder to show you, or people that wildcraft, yeah, lots. Well, cattails in itself, the pollen from that is just fabulous. You just put a bag on it and shake the pollen. It's pure sugar. Hey, Dave Knight, good morning. Lots of cattails. Yeah, cattails are. There's many uses to it. I mean, if you need a torch. You can dip that in a bit of grease and off you go, or oil, and you got yourself a torch. As simple as that. But for pillow making, insulation, chinking on the cabin, I mean, if you emergency use. Like I was watching CR there, he had this space age blanket like thing underneath, and that's perfect underneath where his sleeping bag was, and he was out in the snow. But cattail, it's there's a lot to eat. Like lily pad root is edible. It's Rebel Canners. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, Tammy. And yeah, but there's a lot to do to get through that hunger gap, especially if you got to look after a bunch of people that can't look after themselves. So you set them up. You set them up. They all have some skill. Whether it's going out and collecting the cattails for making a fodder for animals, whatever it is. Somebody's going to be doing something when times are lean and mean. But if you stick together, you have a better chance to survive them on your own, unless you have an amazing amount of skills. You'd have to have a lot of skills, and most people don't have that. I grew up with that, so I would be okay. But my neighbors, not so much. They'd be in a lot of trouble. They're still eating at McDonald's and Tim Hortons and Burger King, man. Like, I'm not knocking it, but you better know how to make that biofilm burger in your cave, as far as I'm concerned. It's always fun to learn something new, right? You know. So people are just saying hello. Ask the local natives that what I have done over. Yeah, me too. Me too. Straight to them, and that's where I started learning about camas bulbs. And I mentioned it last night in Shawnee's. Thank you kindly for the thumbs up in Shawnee's live stream. They were used for currency. That was local money. We're on the West Coast here. From here to Florida to Saskatchewan, there was a trail, and it was a commerce trail. And what was used was camas bulbs. And why they were used was they're good for 300-400 years stored. That ought to speak volumes. And then they're 45% sugar. And they're camas bulbs. They have a blue star flower on them, and there's fields of them here. And that's what the natives would burn the fields here, and then you'd have the right camas bulbs. And they were used for currency, and they had trade routes, like I said, from Saskatchewan to Florida, right from where I'm sitting. It was huge here. It was a huge industry for the First Nations way before the white people showed up, way before. Yeah, there's only one drawback of the camassia. There's a Latin name of camas, is what the First Nations, or comash is what the First Nations called it. And there's another bulb that looks exactly the same, but the flower is a big yellowy white cone flower that comes off of it. And that's called the death camas. And they grow here. And you can't tell them the difference unless you see the flower. Okay. But if you clear them out, then generally they're gone from the area. So they're not exactly super amount of them here. They're rare now because they were cleared out by the First Nations. And they were used for different purposes, but not for eating. And not for eating at all, but it's the bulbs, tubers, rhizomes, those type of things in the forage department is looked at. If it's not looked at, then you won't know about it, and if you're not practicing it, you're not going to do good with it. And but foraging is coming up here pretty quick. I'll be foraging many things and picking wild berries that people haven't known of. Yay, camas, I've never heard of that. Yeah, most have. You can order them online and plant them. But what you do is you dig them up, you wash them, and then you bake them in the oven. And it's just like eating a little block of sweet chocolate. It's like, make no wonder they're looked upon as currency because I mean, who wouldn't want a 45% sugar block back in the day when you had the split wood and you worked hard every day. There wasn't too many fat, chubby people back in the day, unless it was at the end of the fall season, and then people packed on weight from all the extra foods from salmon, deer, and elk, and buffalo. Then you would pack on a bit of weight because then you were in your environment and that weight would come off. Just like you see a deer get fat for winter, it's the same idea with humans, except that now humans don't live in their little cave and travel around and be nomadic where the food is. They all sit in their nice cubicles and they don't have that the cold. The cold is what makes you lose weight. Oh, I get to have a coffee. Long day yesterday. But I made it to the coolest show on YouTube, Shawnee's live stream with all the cool people. I didn't think I was going to make it, but I did. I actually made it a couple hours early. I went out yesterday and had the tandoori flame. I went to this, that's a little bit of a famous restaurant from India. They have their own tandoor inside and they make the papadon fresh right there. And it's pretty good. Tandoori flame. Yeah. I went there. David Corey with Crop. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to know knowledge isn't forgotten. Yes. Good to see you there, David Corey. So, yeah, the tandoori flame. Just as I'm finishing my meal, the fire alarm goes off. Someone pulled the fire alarm in the building. So I'm like, well, I think I'll just pay for my meal. I was done anyway, but some people, they just ran out. Fire. I I didn't. I I didn't smell no fire, and the windows and doors are right there. So I was with some other people, and they're like, "Okay, let's pay our bill." I said, "Well, I already paid it all, so I paid the bill for everyone." Yeah, my treat. I gotta go. The building's on fire. Turned out it wasn't. Someone pulled the fire alarm. I was gonna take out my camera to my cell phone because the fire department was just around the corner. They show up really fast, and I know some of them, so it was interesting to. But someone just for a gag pulled the fire alarm. Yep, it was a great topic. I wish I could have stayed. Well, maybe next time, Tammy. But I thought we were going to talk about some water bathing or something. You're the expert. I do a little bit myself. I do. I used to do like 1,000+ jars, even way more than that, because it was my hobby and it was my gift giving of giving it. And there's a lot to retain. It's not just you're going to show up and be a water bath canner. There's a lot to learn, and you should learn it when it's good times and it'll stick with you. And the older people, man, they got it going on. And Rebel, it's so enjoyable to be able to hear from humans all over the world. What do you keep eating local all around the world? What do it keep World, what? Okay. All around the world. Yeah. Well, there's a book. I could show you this book. It's um, I can show you a book, and there's a little bit in there on everything about all around the world, what's wild and what you can find here. Oh, hang on, I'll get it for you. Oh, you're in Massachusetts. Nice. Dr. Paula Ruffin, Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year. So here's the book. I suggest everybody should have this, study it as much as possible. John Wiseman is a very special person, a really tough guy, lover of nature, but there's a little bit of everything in here, from first aid to trapping to snaring to defending yourself to different countries you may find yourself in. And I highly recommend this book. This is a book. Well, you can tell I've read this a few times. It's I even have my own design in here somewhere. I hope it's still in here. No, it's not in there. I put it in my folder. I had a design in there for let's see here, for an easy like kind of a spring trap. But here's one here, roots and tubers. I was just talking about roots and tubers. This is in the same book. There's the Wapato there. And but yeah, roots and tubers. There's a salsify. There's a bunch in here. And that's all part of the forage. And this is where, it comes in. And arrowroot there. No, that's not arrowroot. Arrowroot's got a different color. I'm seeing it upside down backwards. Here we go. Yeah. Aquatic waterside roots. And that's how you were saying there, Shawnee. You have here are different foods. This is fruit. This stuff can be localized. This can be localized. And this book I've had for most of my life. Grapes, you'll find grapes anywhere. And you know what? I've been in this village for well over a quarter century. And I walked by, though my entire time here, I walked by the most fantastic grape was growing through the hedgerow at the church. Didn't even know it was there. And these gobs of grapes. I'm like, I walked by here. I never ever noticed it because it was in the hedgerow. You have a copy, Pilgrim. Yeah, well, that'll work. Nuts, fungi, desert plants. Here's a cool one on desert plants. Now, this guy was pretty amazing guy. He was, and here's your different snares and traps. And you should practice this. Practice makes perfect. Hey? I designed my own, in case I'm being followed, I designed my own spring trap. And it was designed either if I wanted it to take the person out or just injure them, because that's a big thing in the future. If there's no food on the planet, like Uncle Al says, you are the food. So yeah, it's great to have a way to defend yourself and not be there. So let's see who's all here. David's here, Grant, Tammy, Shawnee, Pilgrim, Dr. Paula Ruffin, Dave Knight, and Pilgrim. Good point. Yeah. When there's no food on the shelf, before that happens, you're going to see people that are not going to be so happy. They don't have their medication, they don't have their booze, their dope, they don't have their food in their belly. You know, a good person's no longer a good person. A good person could look at you and go, you know, it's a possibility. It's not going to happen overnight, but it may happen in the future. But again, it may not. I could be wrong, and all of a sudden the planet gets a big boost of food forest all over it, and we grow a new lung. I mean, that takes a long time. I have mice in the greenhouse beds. That's a good thing. There's air, water, nutrients. Now, if the mice are eating your food, that's not such a good thing. Okay? Mice and rats in a lot of countries is a mainstay of food. Anything can be eaten if it's cooked properly and prepared properly. But, most mice are not going to carry disease, but some do. Like deer mice in the Sonoran, they all carry hantavirus. I seen this guy, and he had this huge channel, man, and he's sweeping out the cave, this little cavern on the side of the hill. He's like, "Oh, look at the little mice poo," and I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, man." Yeah, you're gonna live a long time. Two finger type B, hello. Yeah, it's concept of observation in your environment that's going to make the difference in your skill set. And if wiped out my kale and spinach, well, Dave, you're smarter than a mouse. I hope so. Cheers, Dave. Night. Nice to learn. Uh-oh, what happened here? Huh. Something went wrong here. Hmm. Oh, there you are. Just took a while to get there. Cool. But yeah, the holy grail of books, I'll put it up again. Everybody should have a copy. Pilgrim's got one. This puppy is the best book you'll ever purchase. It's got mushrooms, fixing your automobile, birds of prey, avalanche, scorpions, how to make igloo, right? How to make potable drinking water, making good use of your knife, compass, planes, snow, bunny rabbit, electrical problem, a slingshot, and nuclear. It's got in here on nuclear. This book should be looked upon and practiced daily or even for 15 minutes. Pretty soon, as a few months go by, you've got a lot of skills. Practice, practice, practice. This is a book that it's got knot tying, fire making, fish preservation, catching fish, water survival, house fire survival, uh, wild animals. Because I always talk about living in a cave, ship sinking. This book should be practiced as much. If you read, and I hope you all do, because a lot of people don't read. It's a good book to have to practice. Don't buy it just to own it. Anybody can do that. It covers a wide variety of topics, all good info. Yes, it does. Yes, the SAS Survival Handbook. it's a little bit of everything, and where you find yourself on the planet, you don't know tomorrow. You could be anywhere. It could be a mass migration because there's no food here or water, or it's toxic and disease, and you need to move. I advocate to bug in, never leave. But that 1% of chance that you have to go, there's always that 1%. Where did you get the book? I bought it at a bookstore a million years ago. Well, actually, I didn't. My good friend did. So, what a great resource. Oh, you're welcome there, Two Finger. Looks like a great book. Yep. It is a great resource, Paula. It's a wonderful book to have to practice. And you may never need some of it, but most of it you will. Most of what you're going to learn, you're going to use. So, is there a wild way to have good hygiene like a plant based soap? Yes, there's many. A little bit of birch tree ash and a mashed birch tree twig. You're asking about soap, and you can brush your teeth. Hemp, you can chew on hemp and brush your teeth. A little bit of baking soda, salt, and but yeah, there is like the English boxwood, an actual soap forms on it and can be collected, and you see those like labyrinths of hedgerows of English boxwood. That was actually part of the laundry process before the washer and dryer showed up. You can wash your hands, little round balls of soap, and lots of them will be a product of the fruit stage of the boxwood, the Korean boxwood as well. But to make something sterile generally requires salt or vinegar, that kind of thing. Yeah. But is there a wild way to have good hygiene? Yeah, just jump in the ocean. If you got fleas or ticks on you or something like that, or, some kind of disease, like not necessarily disease, but something that crawls on you and lives on you, like scabies, just go out into the cold, take your clothes off, put it in the frozen ice and snow and leave it there. Because then all them ticks and whatever's on them are dead. It's all in the book. You get that book and you practice it. Just don't buy it. I mean, and like I said, anybody can just buy it. And for women, like women have monthly things. So a bit of moss down there is very clean, is very, very clean. And then pitch, a baby diaper can be made fairly quickly in the wild because, if you are living outside, all of a sudden you possibly can get dysentery or cholera. And then from drinking the water, you can get microsporidia. There's a ton of things in water that is foreign to you because you're drinking chlorinated water, right? So to stay clean outside is so important. So just don't get dirty. And sand is what's going to wash your dishes for you, your pot or whatever, and some seawater if you have it, and then burn it off. When you start cooking pork, chicken, fish, meat, that's when something can go wrong on your plate. But if you're just eating veggies and stuff like that, like fruit, the plate or a cup, you're having a cup of tea, you don't need to really wash that. Okay, thank you, Pilgrim. We'll check it out when get a chance. I got it on Amazon. Yeah, you can still buy that book. It's quite popular amongst any survivalist, anybody in the Green Berets to SEAL team guys. They know that like the back of their hand. And there's a little bit of everything for you to improve upon with your skill set, and that's what's needed. By Bye at Pilgrim. Take care, Doctor. Oh, see you, Pilgrim. Thanks for being here. Oh, or if Pilgrim Moss. Oh no, must have been. Okay, gotta run. Okay, sorry, Doctor Paula. Take care. Go heal the world. Happy New Year. Cheers. God bless you too. If you don't know Dr. Paula Ruffin, go over there and leave a nice comment, sign up, and ring the bell. And she has a lot of good things to talk about and show you a better way of living, a much better way of living. What is the title again? It's called The SAS Survival Handbook by John Wiseman. You can't go wrong. See you, Pilgrim. The big thing about moss, it is sterile. It's really acidic, so nothing lives in it. So during World War One, the medic in the field, when he ran out of cotton and bandages, guess what he used? Moss, pitch. That was his medical kit, just to get you to the first aid station. Then the first aid station get you to the surgeon, right? The SAS Survival Handbook. That's it. That's it. It's one of many books that I have. Like there's other books that are, in there touches a little bit on roots, rhizomes, and bulbs, tubers, and stuff like this. Okay, so when you're foraging and you're pulling out the, say you're harvesting tiger lilies. So okay, you got the tiger lily bulb, great. And there's little bulbs on there. Put the bulbs back. Make sure the root's going down and there's a little point pointed up. You don't want to take those young bulbs because you're not going to have any more lilies. Here we've got chocolate lilies, all kind of lilies grow here. So every time that I'm out snacking, I'm going to bring my camera with me. I've decided that, and everything that I got a little bit of an idea from a guy that used to come on here, and he wished me to do that because he wanted to learn too. And I never did. I dabbled in it, but it's something that needs to be done. And I should get healthier. But definitely pick up a copy of the SAS Survival Handbook. It's a good book. But there's other books too that are good too, especially ones in your locale. Okay. What's in your locale? Lone Pine Publishing, they put out, like on the West Coast here, I know, and they put out on from all the different mushrooms to all the different um, plants. And the older a plant, the more oxalate it'll have, and that's hard on your kidneys. See, that's extremely hard on your kidneys, especially if you've got kidney disease. You don't want something old plants. It's really hard. So in your locale, it's best to grow as much as you can of what you're going to eat. Find out who's all around you growing what and how, and that'd be your best bet. You're not gonna figure everything out yourself. The best way is by watching someone else. Concepts of observation in your environment is key to your survivability in the future. Without doing so, you're going to be like some other problematic people. They didn't learn when they had the chance. Yes, kidney stone. Yeah. You don't want oxalate. Oxalate is like a crystal that chops things up. That ain't pretty. It ain't pretty at all. And it's in old plants. You must always eat young plants. For real. I've known of it for most of my life because I hung around with this lady that was much older than I, and she was a brilliant human being. She knew everything, and I'm like, how do you remember so much? Practice, Howie. That's what she would say to me. Practice. Been there, got the t-shirts. It's Thursday today, coming up on the hour and 15 minutes. and I promised the guys to give the old people a bunch of radishes. I got a bunch of chickweed too, but it's older chickweed, so I'm not putting it in. And but I plan on putting in some sunchokes and radishes. I'll pick 50 or 60 pounds of sunchokes, and then I should make a video. Yes, make a video. Not I should. I will make a video of it, because time. You never know when a guy's time's up, and people are going, "What happened to that guy? Hey, he used to talk about that plant." Or so I'm not going to be pulling down any more of my live streams. I'm going to leave them up, and that. Thank you to a friend of mine that just suggested that. So why not leave it up? If it's going to help someone, why not leave it up? I was surprised to see my drawing out of the. I had a drawing on a quick spring trap that I designed, and it's not in there. I'm hoping it's in my folder. I want to go get a coffee. Hooray! How he's feeding the world. Well, I don't know about feeding the world. The world needs to feed itself. There's enough food in this world, you know. Just in my city here, $1 billion of food is thrown into the Heartland landfill just outside of town every year. $1 billion. That's 1,000 million. Hey, that's like, wow. That's every year. That's a lot of food wastage, and it shouldn't be. Vay's Place, welcome, welcome, welcome. So what some regional district councilors put in was a law that you're not allowed to throw out food anymore. It must go into the compost or given away. And two finger typer, that is bad, sad, but it happens all over the world. Exactly. There's more than enough food in this world, man. Way more than we'll ever need. When you see people starving to death in some place, that's because that's orchestrated. That's orchestrated. There's no need for that. And Vay is here. Hi, Vay, a real sweet lady. I love the Erna. She's pretty cool. Well, way down there. Way down there. Mm-hmm. Coffee is good and on second cup. Hi, Dave. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I gave up on painted cups. Not interested anymore at all for any reason. Yesterday, when I was at the Tandoori Flame, and this lady comes up and she's got this huge jug of water and two glasses. I'm like, you're my favorite person here. Water is amazing. It lowers your glucose level dramatically because the water can soak up sugar in your blood, hey, and then you just pee it out. So, lesson learned there. If you're going to eat something that's high carb or high glucose or sugar, fructose, there's all these aspartame, whatever it is, it's all garbage. You don't need it. Humans, for about 2 weeks of the year during harvest season, like berries and fruit in the northern hemisphere, I'm talking about, had access to sugar, unless they found like a honey bear den or something. So when you see them drinking pop and eating this and that, and it's like, okay, you're what, 15, 20 years old, 25 now? Like to see you when you hit 40. Yeah, it ain't going to happen. You'll be on something or missing something. If you take care of it now and look after yourself, it's like if you're born, before you're born, and you didn't have the right nutrients, you failed to methylate. So something went wrong with you before you were born See, before you became a fetus, you were an embryo. You were just a stomach eating. You didn't even have a brain yet. And then all of a sudden, you became this little guy inside your ball of water. All of a sudden, you're out in the world. Now, when you're out in the world, you're leaving that nice alkaline water sac. Alkaline. Eh? There's a word for you. Something to really think about. You know, disease thrives in acidicness, in acidic environment. Does not thrive in alkaline environment. Yeah. Enough of me talking. Let's get someone on here. Oh yeah, I don't have a StreamYard. Coffee is good. Hey, come on, coffee. Share the coffee. But when British researchers realized that the stomach is the second brain, years later I realized the stomach was the first brain because that's the first. You didn't have a brain yet, so how can it be the second one? When you're inside, when you were just an embryo, you didn't have a brain. You had a stomach. You consumed nutrients from your mama, right? So as far as I'm concerned, when you say, "Oh, I got a gut feeling," oh yeah, you're really thinking now. I get gut feelings about people or places. There's something out of ordinary or out of touch there, or the person that I'm talking to is not right in the head. Even even before they talk, I can get like feelings, gut feelings. Yeah, stomach first, brain, intestine second, brain, then the one on your shoulders came after those. That pretty much sums it up there, Ray. Yeah, human beings are very old, and to follow the metamorphic state or chronology of their past, it's something, man. It's something. It ain't what you learned in school. It ain't at all. Mm-mm-mm. No, sure isn't. Oh, that's good coffee. I got to think about this forage thing, caveman life. Yeah, caveman life. I know where there's many caves. I have I know where there's many tree houses. I know where there's many shelters. Um, you know when it's too late when something goes wrong to go, oh, I need this, I need that. If you prep a little bit now, don't panic, calm, cool, and collective, you can make out pretty good, with growing food or catching a few fish. But others can't. That's the problem. So looking after your community is number one. You look after the community. First, it's children. Second, is women, and third are men or old people. Men, you don't really look after. They better man up. But some men are weak, so you got to help them. They're wimpy and they can't really think. So you got to help them. They're part of your community. So, so to help your community would be to make soil. Soil's the number one thing you can do because it's a simple fact. If you have healthy soil, you're going to have a healthy environment. You're going to have a healthy human. A healthy mind, a healthy body makes a healthy decision. An unhealthy body and an unhealthy mind makes an unhealthy decision. That's it. It's not up for debate. It's it. It's in. It's over. This is what you deal with. 99% of truths you will never learn in school. No, that's the victors in school wanting you to be programmed. I'm not knocking them because, I love chemistry, biology. Biology is awesome. That's what I excelled at. Mr. Mills' class. Yeah, he was a cool head, man. He knew a lot. And then Mr. Lee, this Chinese guy, and he knew a lot about chemistry and yeah, yeah. Or it's all these special people in my life. I didn't realize they were there until years later when I needed them. But but if you there's some things called the 3 C's. I talk about it sometimes. It's calm, cool, collective. What that means is you remain calm. And to remain calm, you breathe in through your nose, because you could have fight or flight, you can have schizophrenia, you can have mental health, whatever it is. Calm, cool, and collective wins. So to stay calm, you concentrate on your breathing and your environment. Staying cool is you're not gonna overreact or underthink. Okay. The reason why people overthink is because they've had a traumatic episode, they're damaged goods and haven't repaired. That's why people overthink, because they want to survive. So they overthink something. Calm, cool, stay cool. Cool means grounded, earthing, and collective. You're absorbing your environment that you find yourself in. Still got my hospital tags on. I have new ones. I don't want people to know my private information though. But calm, cool, and collective. Some women are stronger than men. Most women are. Man has physical strength. Woman's strength is keeping the family going. Exactly. But some women can have physical strength much more than a man. I used to train with women in self defense and stuff like that. They were easier to teach than men. Men were kind of show offish. Women wanted to know, if someone's going to mess with them, what to do. And generally, I just showed them elbows, knees, and headbutts. That takes care of the problem pretty fast. I used to have a martial arts dojo many years ago. Not no more. Don't need it. I would be advising anybody that lives in a violent area to get to get some small self defense course at the YMCA or whatever it is on close quarters combat, because that could happen. People that come into your sphere, you want them at least 3 meters or say 10 feet away from you. But even that, someone could throw a screwdriver or knife or hatchet really fast. Okay. Really, really fast. So if shit's hit the fan, a small shield made from telephone books or encyclopedia books or something like of that nature is a good thing to have, especially if you've got to be around people. I mean, the Vikings didn't have a shield for no reason. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to carry that around all the time. But it's nice to know that you could put a heavy duty magazine wrapped on your arm with a bit of duct tape to block that knife or stab or screwdriver, and that's what it's coming down to. That's if shit's hit the fan, people don't care about you. There's no love. Another thing people need to learn to trust their instinct. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're talking about here for sure. Hey, Michigan, hey, 21-foot rule. Good. That's even better. 25, because then it's inaccurate, whatever they're throwing. Good to see you, Michigan, hey. I know a woman who was 5'1" tall and could clean the bar out. No man mess with her. Oh, if you're trained, you're trained. You're not, it's the biology of belief. If you believe you're weak, you're going to be weak. I took the garbage out and came back. Where's the conversation at right now? Oh, we're talking about your garbage that you threw out. How come you're throwing out garbage? Just messing with you. 1 second distance. Yeah. Michigan, hey, yeah. It can happen fast. When you're being attacked, and you only should be attacked twice in your life where someone's going to try to snuff you. Okay, anything else, my master from Okinawa in Japan, I learned that if you're being attacked daily and someone's trying to whack you, well, you're doing something wrong. Twice in your life, no matter what you do, someone's going to try to do serious harm to you. Twice. That's the average. Okay. Now, if you're getting less than twice, say you only had once and then you passed away, you're most fortunate. You're like in the 1%. Twice in your life, someone's going to try to hurt you. So don't be in close quarters. Don't walk down the back alley at midnight. You're going to get mugged. Okay. So, but it can happen. And the action's fast once it starts, especially a professional that lost the noodle up here, but has a lot of skill. You're in a lot of trouble. You want to survive, and learning a few skills really helps. Happy New Year to you, Howie and Howie Earthlings. Hi, Tony. I was just thinking about you. Have a new fig. Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, hey, Michigan, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey Tony, hello Vay's place. I had it happen, but I think they didn't think anybody was in the building when they threw the brick. I saw that again. It, did you know most people that are going to attack you and try to kill you is someone you know? Most, not all. It's random acts of violence is not exactly rare, but it's because you've placed yourself there. There's, governance. I teach CPL course. They say if are not aware, you probably can't get to your protection tool in time. Yes, awareness. That's part of the calm, cool, and collective. Okay, I covered that. Now there's the look. You're looking peripheral. You're looking around. Every time you move 10 to 15 to 20 feet, look around. Don't be looking down or looking up or looking at that stupid little black box in your hand. Now, that little black box, that could be a good defense weapon, especially a tablet. I know a guy that used a tablet to stop a knife attack from his girlfriend. His girlfriend went ballistic, and she had somebody put something into her drink and drove her crazy, and she's still crazy today. And something happened though. I don't know other than what I'm splatting off here, but he has a whole story. And she came at him and stabbed it. And there was an actual stab hole that went right through his. He went like this and blocked with his tablet, and it bounced off the tablet and went into his clothing, and it didn't stab him. I was just like, geez, man, let me see that. And we took pictures of it. The police come and took her away, but she's still out running around today. There's a warrants out for her. This was quite some time ago, but he follows her through the BC court registry, and here she is wanted, wanted, wanted. And some of the wanteds were pretty heavy duty stuff. So, yeah, someone threw a brick at the building at Vay's place. Yeah, yeah. I PTSD saved my life that night. Post traumatic stress disorder saved my life that night. Well, you would be on a fight or flight, instant. What's going on here? Your adrenals would be wide open instantly, and yeah. It's a pretty serious thing when you're attacked. But like I said, my master told me and taught me that twice in your life. No, I do have Rick Simpson oil, but I rarely use it, and I have had to use it, but I'm into some other things now. Always trying to upgrade and learn new things, but I'm using L-cetyl L-carnitine for my eye problem and the neurological and broken off little wires. If I could not have turned my head when I heard the sound, the brick would have taken me out. Wow. I've heard of stuff like that. That's just wow, man. Did you ever find out who did that, Vay? Now, I'm not saying exact any vengeance or anything, but avoidance is everything here. I have to let my little doggy out. Excuse me. Thank you, Shawnee. This is who we are. How we on you? No sound. Yeah, I hear you. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the brick coming through your window, that was cheap. That was cowardly. Yeah, Buddy Biggs, Happy New Year. Yeah, that was cheap throwing that brick like that. That was someone that had some serious mental health issues, drug addictions, abused, whatever it is, because there was no love for you. But you got lucky. Don't sit by the window. Lesson learned, right? If you're going to go sit somewhere, sit where it's close, right? Especially if you're in a neighborhood like Guardian Prepping there. That guy has to be on his toes all the time. He's in such a highly violent part of South Africa. He has to be careful all the time. Personally, I couldn't live like that, but he's a badass, so he gets to live like that. But he's well on his way of, I think, if he opens up his food forest to the whole community and starts growing in the whole community, um, it might change the mindset of people that have been abused, or abuse can come from just even the system in play, the neighborhood, the parent, the Uncle Bob, whatever, right? It's pretty tough. Oh, my computer is in the windowless section. I bet it is, Vay, when you got a brick coming through like that. Hey, Simjay, welcome, welcome, welcome. My friend from India. Cheers, Simjay. I was just at Simjay's channel. They're a channel for showing about life, and they like to grow their channel. They're it's I'm fine, Simjay. I'm pretty good. Just coming in to say hi. I bet you are there, busy guy. I saw you playing your game, that chopper game. That was pretty cool. I didn't say much, had to go. Just coming in to say hi and hit the like button. Got some stuff to do. Catch you soon. Much love, mad respect, Buddy Biggs. Buddy Biggs got a great channel and a great bunch of people over there. I'm fine. Oh, you're in Toronto. Uh, okay. You're from. Okay, Simran is your mom. Simjay is from Toronto. Thank you for the correction. My mom from India. Yes, of course. Forgive me, please. I'm sorry. I. It's still morning. I'm still drinking my coffee. That's the defense for my lack of thinking. What's wrong with my old calendar? I'm living in 2024 still. Actually, I don't have the new calendar because the place I went to is where I get that calendar, because that calendar it's all on Ikebana and origami. You make little creatures out of paper, and they have the cheapest, best food, high quality. I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess it is cheapest, but the quality is of excellent. You get what you pay for. Yeah. Is it light there yet? Just breaking. Yeah. Haha. Nice. Is it black coffee? Always. I never put anything in my organic black coffee. Can't taste the coffee then. I like coffee. I like tea too. I really like tea. I have to get into more tea that is less caffeine in it, keep my blood pressure down a little bit. My goddess, my goodness, must be goodness. The sun is shining. I have forgotten what it looks like. Well, yesterday it was orange in the morning. Today it is not. So we went through a big rainstorm, and now it's over, but we've been getting a lot of rain, and we don't normally get that much rain. We get these things called atmospheric downpour. So my water barrels, my water are overflowing now. So what I did is I emptied out all the plants in the house, put them outside, and I watered them outside and let it drip for a couple of hours. So I'm going to do that again today because I have a bunch more new plants, and I was going to upgrade them, but I don't think I'm going to. I was going to upgrade them to a new pot. I'm not going to. I'm just going to fertilize on top the new citrus, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not. I've got other things to do. So today I'm. My first thing I'm doing is I'm picking the radishes and washing them in my rainwater. So I'm not using the my tap water on them at all. So what that'll do is it'll clean them up for the next people that are going to have them. What is your temp today, Howie? It is good question. It's about 7-8 degrees Celsius, so probably like in Fahrenheit. Where's CR? He does all this math. Where did you get those steaks? Highly marbled. Ah, those are free ranged, happy cows that someone raised, and they were never in a feedlot, and it's just they were loved. They were loved, and they didn't have green hay when they were harvested. They had nice aged hay, and they had nice silage. They actually gave them some corn, but that was just to keep them from when going to the slaughterhouse. But see, when they went to the slaughterhouse, that was another thing. Okay, they didn't have to hear the cow getting slaughtered. The animal's frightened and knows what's going on. All of a sudden, you're hearing your cow moo. All of a sudden, you hear this click, and then that's it. If the animal's not stressed and it has its right exercise and it gets to roam around and out in its beautiful environment, you'll get nice meat. But as soon as you put them in a truck and they're all scared shitless, it's okay meat. It's got higher oxalates in it. It's not so good if you got kidney stones, or not so good if you got gout. But the marbling is what you're looking for. Those are ribeyes. But I made a mistake. I said that was a sirloin, the third steak. That wasn't. That was off a strip loin, and that was aged 30 days. That meat, and then I got it, but it's not cheap. Hey, Scotty, good morning. But it was from an abattoir. It's a mobile abattoir. So we'd go and get one or two of the cows, and they would go, or even if it's three, but they were kept away. The secret is the animal is not traumatized, scared, out of its environment. Well, as soon as you got that, like if you got shot a moose, it's going to be tough meat. If you got shot a cattle or shoot an animal that's wounded and is going through all this trauma, or if an animal's down in the cattle lot. I mean, sometimes you get that meat and it's like, I'm chewing on. No, thank you. I wouldn't even feed that to my dog. If an animal's properly looked after, like look at Wagyu beef in Japan. You know that a bunch of people will show up and massage the living cow. Why? Because the cow likes it. It likes it. And hay is great for cows. They love hay, nice aged silage. They like that, but they also like to move around. And I don't buy meat, and I'll buy Australian grass fed, run around the bush eating plants and grasses. And that beef and New Zealand beef is really good. Some beef in America is delicious, and in Canada too. But I mean, you can go to the store and pay big money, and I've paid $30 for a prime ribber like that big and nice and thick, and you couldn't eat it. Why? Because the animal went through some pain and suffering. And that's just the way it is. My dad taught me that when I was a kid. Clean shot, bang, the caribou would drop, or moose, or whatever, your deer, and that meat was delicious. Now, when you got an animal that ran after being shot, the animal's not delicious, but it can be used. There's nothing wrong with it. Michigan hay. Seen those once that got chased and shot, and you couldn't eat the meat. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like not everybody's is kind, and kindness goes a long way. Like Wagyu beef, you better have your gold card when you're going eating that stuff. It's delicious. It just melts in your mouth. What I have access to is something very similar, and that was the BC Cattle Company who sold off some calves, and then this other guy raised them on the land. They went around and around, and they were happy and they were friendly, and then they reached a certain stage, and then they were harvested. But they actually were to enjoy most of their young youth and some adult life. I like that. It shows that I'm going to enjoy that meat. Now, if you're not a meat eater, that's okay. That's okay too. You better eat your vitamin B because that's where your vitamin B comes from meat. Hey? I haul a day ahead of time. Smart. You know, yeah, smart. Haul a day ahead of time. Yep. Stress hormones ruin all meat. Absolutely. It doesn't. If your chicken is stressed, your egg don't even taste right. If you leave a fish in a bag or a cooler and you don't kill it right away, well, you can't even eat it. It starts rotting right away, even though it's alive. You must be dispatched. Dispatched. Any creature that you're going to consume, don't let it suffer. That's not. You won't enjoy your food. You won't. It's impossible. Oops. No notifications today. I'm sorry. What? Thank God I'm loved. Hey, Darth X. When did you come in? Darth X, A's place. I think that manufactured chickens are stressed. Did I miss you coming in? Doesn't look like. Well, welcome. Good morning, neighbor. Doesn't live far from you. A couple of 100 miles, maybe 150 miles. Yeah. Good to see you, Darth. Vay's place. I think that manufactured chickens are stressed. Did you ever see those fake chicken eggs? I'm like, wow, really? A chicken egg? Faked? Oops. Hello, Howie. Yep. No notifications. I'm sorry to hear that. Darth, store bought eggs taste terrible. Ew. I don't mind store bought eggs if I'm baking a cake for a friend and something like that because it's about half the price. But normally, and I don't eat a lot of eggs anymore because I'm trying to lower my egg intake. But yeah. Base play. Hey, oops. Hey, good morning. Yep. Darth, store bought. Yep. I miss my quail. Fresh eggs you grow are best. Oh, quail eggs. Yep. Nothing wrong with quail eggs. Most quail eggs are fertilized by the male. If you put them in an incubator, they'll pop out little quails. But the great thing about quail is they look after themselves. They'll leave and come back, maybe minus a few. Some people got a little pellet gun, and a wild quail is delicious. But I like looking at them. They're fun at the feeder. About 30 or 40 come here at a time. They all come right into the food forest because they know it's safe here. And especially like in the springtime, they really come here and feed because I put out feed. But quail eggs have more complex B vitamin B, complex vitamin B. Yes, they do. It's so simple to keep a few chickens in it or quail in a cage. There you go. You got all the protein in the world and vitamin B. I raise Coturnex quail, Howie. Can't where I am now. What people don't know, won't hurt them. So if you keep it quiet, and they don't make a lot of noise, quail. They make funny little chirpers. Coturnex. Yeah. I'm an advocate of having a flock of quail, pheasant, chickens. Guineas are nice too. And, just let them go from yard to yard to yard to yard, or wild turkeys. Let them run around. Hey, man, when there's nothing at the store, them wild turkeys, they're going to be delicious. Me, it was quail and rabbits. Yeah. Rabbits are great too. My best tomatoes and melons that I ever grew was from rabbit poop. Yeah. I had a big, huge buck and several does, and I kept trays underneath there. So everything came down on it. So I just picked up the tray and washed it off onto this mound. So then in the springtime, I put a black plastic over the mound and I put some tomatoes in it. And then that was in the center. And then just off from the center, and when it's still up high, I put like honeydew melons, and I grew Minnesota midgets. They were delicious. My God, they were good. And they're only the size of a bloody golf ball, but they were delicious. I just ate the whole thing. But my best watermelons, my best honeydew, my best cantaloupes came from, and my best tomatoes came from rabbit poop. Because rabbit poop is just veggies. That's all they're eating. They're not eating a bunch of carcinogenic stuff or something that, it's not pathogenic. It's not going to carry a disease that to whack you or anything. Quail scat, you have to compost, of course. Rabbit scat can go directly on your plants. Yes, it's alkaline, and it hasn't been eating anything that's meat wise, and that's what when you see a recall at the store, there's a reason for it. Okay, and usually it's listeria or salmonella or something like that. Okay, so the biggest problem with buying something from the store, you don't know where it came from. Now, that being said and done, where did it come from? Well, just because this farmer's putting his fresh pig cow manure spread on the field, and you have to wait several weeks before you can harvest that. Hey, you got to wait a while for that to break down. Now, the spray from that or the water table goes into the next farmer, or the foreign worker was taken from there to here. And then the foreign worker, oh, we need you in the plant. Okay, it goes in the plant. Could be a local worker. You don't know. So then it ends up onto your plate. From plant to plate to person is a very dangerous place because you don't know. Are you going to fit there? You're going to sit there and stay fit? No. You're going to throw a fit because you're not happy, or maybe your ignorance is bliss and you don't give a rat's ass. That could be too, right? No, when you're in the ER and you're holding on to your belly and there's runny stuff coming out of you, you're going to give a shit. Or maybe not. Maybe ignorance is bliss. It's a tough sell. Goat scat's the same as rabbit scat. Yep. Goats are a funny lot. People think, oh, they're going to eat my lawn. They're going to eat my hay. No, they're not. They're going to eat your plants, your trees, and the bark off of them. And if there's wild trees, they'll just go up and eat the bark off the wild tree. They got some nice chompers, man. And the great thing about goats is milk, butter. Ooh, butter, baby. And cheese. Soft goat cheese is delicious. When you make it, add a little extra salt. Keeps mold away. Yeast, fungus, critters. Running out both ends will teach you. I recently had to go to the hospital for like a few days in a row, up and down, kind of an outpatient type thing. And I wore my mask. I did not sit in a confined area with all the rest going. I really felt sorry for this like 6-week-old baby who was puking up stuff. And I'm like, Jesus, man, that child needs a doctor and nurses. But no. They're out with all the other people. I was just like, geez, man, I won't sit in an emergency room. I won't. I refuse to. I've seen people puke on me. I've seen people fighting. I'm not doing it. Now, I have gone to an emergency room, and there's some very decent and was fairly good time. It's rare. It happened recently, really. I had a great experience at the hospital. I got all signed up for the neurologist, but yet I couldn't take some things they were doing to me. I'm not interested in that because I've got problems. Anyway, long story skinny is avoiding being put into like a sardine when you got to go to the hospital. Don't be like a sardine, because that's where all the disease is. And time after time, I see them. They'll jam them into this one room. So about a week ago, I was at the main hospital here, and with my medical representative. I always take my medical representative with me, because if I'm incognito, I want them to say something, right? So the like a kind of like a valet guy, he comes and takes your blood pressure and then brings you into the main room to sit down. Well, it's packed. So I'm looking at that aspect. And then there's a whole row where nobody's sitting but one guy. Everybody else standing up, and then all the other seats are full. And I'm looking at the guy. The guy looks like Charles freaking Manson, dude. Nobody wanted to sit beside Charlie Manson, dude. And I looked at the guy that brought us in there. I said, "This is not for me." And my medical representative reaches over and grabs my hand and starts pulling me back. Most people in there had some kind of virus that was, that's why they're there. But I wasn't sick with a virus. I was having a tiny little stroke going on. Mini thing. Hey, Arky, we were just talking about you, man. All good, though. Nothing bad. Good to see you, Arky. It's one of my favorite channels. We were talking about how you live off grid, and and you're quite happy, and it's just amazing. You're amazing, and that's how people are gonna live the way you do. If there's nothing at the store, well, there's no reason to get in a lineup at the store to get something that's nothing. So if you don't know Ark Wildman Survival, bloody well better. You get over there and sign up and leave a comment, a nice one. And he may even sing you a tune, which is pretty good too. I'm going to need more coffee. Oh, what time is it? 8:07. Okay, I got to go at 8:30 because they're here at 11:30. I want to have all their food ready for the mobile food bank. Happy New Year, Ark Wildman. Good to see you, Arky. Hey, there he is. It's Ark Wildman. Yeah, pay attention to that guy. You'll learn something new that'll help you in the future. Absolutely. Yeah, go and watch his past videos too. Don't just watch like the ones he's just putting out. Go back and start watching and do a mass watch. Put them up on the big screen and leave a comment, so that way you'll get a notification when he does go live, which is every now and then, but it's always a good time. It's very cheery, and you can learn something from the guy, right? That's a big one. Thank you for all the thumbs up too. Oh, I'm sitting in my nice cozy house, but Arky there, he's pretty much living outside. He collects his own water, and he gets his own food, and he lives an 18th century type life. Whereas when you're in the 21st century, where all of a sudden there's nothing at the store, you'll want to know about Archie. I was telling them all about this book, Archie. You probably seen this before. It's all about something and everything, a little bit of everything. And I was encouraging them to go and learn about ways of living without. Like Art Wildman did a video recently on eggs that he had in brine for 2 years. Sure, egg production's good now, but if someone come and eat your chickens or coyote, you got no eggs, well, at least you have some in brine, hey, till you can obtain another chicken. So, yeah, cheers. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Today I will be picking radishes for the old age home just north of me, and the mobile food bank will come and pick that up. And I'm digging sunchokes and maybe some potatoes too, because the old people like a few new potatoes. But I can give up 50 plus pounds of sunchokes today, probably 30 pounds of radishes, maybe somewhere around there, and a few pounds of potatoes. And they'll pick that up and I'll have it all out front. I've made videos before of it. Maybe I'll make a video again today. Maybe, if I can remember. Yum. Archie's saying hi to all. Yeah, Shawnee Gross. There he is. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to follow Archie, man. He'll show you how to make a little hobo tin stove. And it doesn't look like much coffee can until he's done with it. And people all over this bloody world watch that. Now they have a little hobo tin can for cooking on. Very simple. A few twigs keeps it going. Very simple. Simple. Keep it simple. Give it a kiss. Keep it simple. Yep. Yeah, that's the key. Keeping things simple. If you don't have a lot of food, don't do a lot of work. Don't go do something arduous. You want to slow down, conserve. If you have to do something like go get wood, then you're able to. But if you're running around and just, goofing off, you're going to use up what you have. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So conscious mind is a big thing. Calm, cool, collective, look, listen, learn. And then in your notebook, if this shit's hit the fan, it's called who, what, when, where, how did all this go down, and make notes. When you make notes, you don't have to rely on memory. You have your notes. So yeah, why, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Tiny Duck smiles. Welcome. Hello, everyone in chat. Hope you have a great day. You all have a great day. Well, I hope you do too. If you don't know Tiny Ducks, he's live most of the time on YouTube, and you can go over in the mornings, and there's real live people there, and you can chat to the creatures, big and small. Really cool guy, Miles, and the people in his chat are very cool. Yeah, you got a lot of ducks there. Yeah, they're cute too. Yeah. But again, duck eggs, hey, they make the best cakes. I have a few minutes before work. Well, I'm glad you stopped in. Happy New Year, Miles. It's good to see you. Always a pleasure. And yeah, going to be doing a foraging videos coming up and fishing and gathering. That's good. That's what I'm going to be doing. Seeing I have to go to work anymore. I'm going to keep up my hobbies and eat good food. Yep. But thank you all for the thumbs up. Exactly how duck eggs are great for baking. They're the best. You won't get any better. You get nice fluffy cakes, nice fluffy muffins. The duck eggs. I like duck eggs just poached even. I don't mind duck eggs fried, boiled, whatever. But I do like them in my cake. I like making cake without sugar. So when you use duck eggs, it kind of has a little bit of a flavor to it. So, and like a sweetness to it. So I don't use sugar. So it was kind of a bread type cake that I make from them. And I get them for free and trade from the guy down the road. And all I have to do is bring in something in season like kiwi or grapes or something like that once in a while. And I don't pay for my duck eggs. And they're huge. They're like monster. One duck egg's comparable to like two regular or even three eggs, depending on the breed. But there's nothing wrong with duck eggs. And they're very rich, very, very good eating. Tiny, what type of ducks do you have? He has a few. It's cool to watch them all. You see a mouse run over and grab some feed and run away, and then the ducks are like, hmm. They're very aware, but they're cohabitating there. And there's a lot of ducks. There's quite a few. And if you're into eating duck, I don't eat duck myself. I got some khaki Campbell a few years ago. Hey, oops. And they really surprised me at how many eggs they lay a lot of eggs. Three Sebastopol geese too. Nice. I saw those there. I thought they were like kind of look like Ebden geese, but that makes sense. Sebastopol geese. Yeah. And I have 10 chickens for layers. Nice. Cool to both. Adrian saying hello to Buddy Biggs. Buddy Biggs is not here anymore. He left. He was on the run. He's always doing something exciting. He like climbing a tree, going metal detecting, magnet fishing, gardening, whatever it is. Oops, says hello to Adrian, which is pretty cool. You know, you're always doing something because then you're always cognitive. But I got a feeling the province is going to start giving me houses about my birds. Yeah, build higher fence. Yeah, they will show up eventually. Someone that's not sleeping well at night and hate themselves, and they want to see you and having a problem. There's that aspect, and there's the actual real aspect of actually, whatever bird flu or whatever. Blessings all to have work to do. C of A, Verna, always a pleasure. Thanks for your commentary. Very valuable. Thank you kindly so much. And Happy New Year and have the best year of your life. If you don't know Vay's place, go over and say hello. She goes live Saturday mornings, I think. And yeah, a very good conversation in there. Always love. Yeah. 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 The least people know about your ducks or your chickens or your whatever, your geese, the less the people know like that they're there, the better off you are. I mean, I'm not saying break the law, but I mean, the law is breaking you, right? Well, I'm one of those people that don't believe in what the government pushes. Hey, buddy, the lineup starts right here because I'm not one to someone try to program me because I know what neuro linguistic programming is. I was deprogrammed many years ago by some famous people, which I'm not going to say, but I had access to some very famous people that looked after me and showed me a better way of what the victor gives you and what the victim gets. Isn't that something? Well, yeah. Howie, I've been awake pretty much my whole life to all the BS around us. Well, you know what? When you're a kid, you're programmed because you know of the programming. And then when you grow up, you may believe it and then finally become awake. When you become awake in your awareness, it can be overwhelming and you can freak out. So gradually I learned about deprogramming. Now, when someone tells me programming, it's really interesting. Just got done watering the indoor garden. Smart. Smart. The programming never took when I was a kid. You know what? I didn't get it as bad as others, but I did get beliefs that didn't exist. And my grandfather straightened that out right away. And then the school of hard knock you. Yeah, I had that. I went to Catholic orphanage school type thing, residential thing. It was some kind of nuts, man. I'm not saying Catholics are nuts, but I mean, what I saw there's, dude, it wasn't even human. My wife woke up in 2022. Yay, Miles. Tina came around, and it really sent her for a loop. Yeah, once you see the bullshit, and let's call it what it is, bullshit, then you know what's what. Hey? And it's something, man. It's a feeling of it can be quite overwhelming. Where are we here? I look at things a lot different than the way most people do. Exactly. Same here. I'm in the same boat. Just go, okay, the programming never took when I was a kid. Yeah, you're the rebellious kind. I love it. Dave Knight, yep, Tiny Ducks, my wife. Okay, Tiny Ducks, exactly. I had older people around me that straightened me out right away too, and really made it difficult for teachers when they were pushing their propaganda. That was back in the 70s. Yeah, I had the same issues. Like, I don't mind teachers teaching me mathematics, chemistry, biology, but when you got to sit there and learn about nonsense like how many prime ministers have you had and which one was the greatest, and blah 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 blah, this is the history of this country of ours, blah blah blah, bullshit. And yeah, so I like school teachers and school that teach usable skills, like at metal workshop, wood workshop, home economics, that kind of thing. I really like that. I do not like the bullshit, though. And I took years to realize that what really happened to people around me when people disappeared, it's like, whatever happened to so and so? Yeah, he had brown skin. What the hell is that? Yeah. Tiny Duck says she had a hard time believing that all these rabbit holes are interconnected in one way or another, and she really had a hard time believing the government was against us. Well, who are the government? Well, part of a secret society. Oh, really? Yeah, it is. My mom loves duck egg. Darth X is getting off the sub. Yeah, good for you, man. Right? Yeah. Well, it's a few that want to control earthlings for commerce and warfare. They want taxes, they want living conditions, and some good heartedness, I guess. I just haven't seen a whole shitload of that. But it's like who gets into government. So over my lifetime, I've seen who got into government, and most of them were real dirt bags that I knew of. You know, yeah, history, his story, not mine. Exactly. Like, we were never taught about colonialism. We were. Oh, you grow a garden? No, you go to the store and you buy your vegetables. What's that? You got a chicken? No, that's illegal. What? You got a goat? That's illegal. What? You got a clothesline up? That's illegal. Okay, so you want to program me to your liking so that you feel better at night that I'm in a box in a drawer? There's an old word that it's the well, the government is the one that put in place to control the Corporation of Canada, and that applies to every country out there. Exactly. It's and a lot of people don't understand is that you go get your birth certificate and you go get your social insurance number. You're entering into a contract. You're it doesn't work. No human civilization has ever endured, and this one shall not either. I'm not being pessimistic here. I'm being optimistic because now, okay, if no one's endured, I will. I will go and dig my cave. I will have my patriotic garden for Mother Earth right there. I will have my ducks and geese. And when these people are done screwing up this planet, which I think they've already done, who's going to look after you? You will look after you. I used to listen to Art Bell years ago, hey, and I thought he was a loon. I don't think he was a loon at all. All 338 sitting members are corrupt as hell. Well, yeah, they belong to the same Messianic order. Why would they not be? When I see people on there, oh, look, so and so is green, and oh, so and so is conservative, oh, so and so is liberal. What do you? There's nothing up here. You really are programmed. The secret society is there so that because the indigenous population, that's rubes, that's you, and then the natives, that's little brown people. Well, they can't look after themselves. We're here to look after them. What the hell do you think they were doing before you come along and said there's a government? They were living here fine. Everybody was fine. Sure, there was warfare. Sure, there was slave trade. Sure. But do you think that wasn't warfare where white colonialists came from? Bloody hell, there was. And you don't think there was a slave trade? There sure as the hell was. So you're brainwashed to believe the bullshit. And then, like Tiny Ducks' wife, come out and realize what was reality here, and it all comes down to secret society. There's millions of members around the world, and I'm not trying to pick on them or anything, but I bloody well know who they are. I'm friends with several, but they have an ideology that's not mine. No, there's plenty of free and freedom with my ideology. I'm not to be programmed. If you're going to program me, I'm watching you. And if I'm watching you, plenty others are too. We are the only animals on the planet that have to pay to survive. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No other animal pays but us. That's something to think about. I know this, Tiny Ducks. You're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. They'll read a script. We're in a bad episode of the Twilight Zone as far as I'm concerned. I gotta bounce. My work day is just about to start. Cheers, everyone. Tiny Ducks, always a pleasure. You are very aware of your environment. Yeah, you're super aware. Thank you for being you. You have a great day. May you have the lovely day. Yeah. Oops says they have to con before they can control. Yeah, it's a sickness they have, and they don't even know it. And Shawnee Grows is listening, always listening. That's a good thing. Always listen. Be a good listener, because then you tell the people that you're talking to, I'm listening to you, or person, or young child, or old person. I'm listening to you. And that encourages them to speak. Dollars is the enslavement system with no chains or fences necessary. You know what? It's a piece of paper. It makes great TP. That's how I look at paper money. Toilet paper. Free toilet paper. Yay. Right? So I don't care for money. And if I lost everything I got today, wouldn't bother me. At least I probably would be happy. I would be happier. I don't have to look after it anymore. It was a woman, a female earthling, that developed a promissory note to pay, like in the 15th century, 14th century, I forget. Some people with no scruple or truth looked at that and went, oh, we could print that. That's where money comes from. Well, other than coinage, that was the metal trade. You had gold, platinum, silver, copper, that kind of thing, nickel, that you controlled the metal, rare metals and coinage, right? That's been around for a long time, but paper currency hasn't been around a long time. It's just a promissory note, promise to pay. The bank promised to pay the holder of that note. And you can write your own notes. Hey, did you know that? There's people here that do. Hey, it's bloody wild to see. Look at Canadian Tire money. They print their own money. Why? Because they can. Anybody can, right? Anyway, I better go. It's 8:30 because I've got some good deeds to do and I've got my meds to take. Take your meds. Thank you all for being here. Much love, mad respect. Hit that thumbs up if you're watching the replay and listening to my gift to gab. Well, please hit the thumbs up and leave a nice message, like Uncle Al says. Died Bullfrog 79. Leave a nice message. Anybody can leave an ugly, terrible message. That takes no talent. What takes real talent is goodness, and kindness is free. Peace and love, and get your book and practice. I've been practicing with this for 25 years and I'm still practicing. Blessings to all. See you all around. Okay, there, Shawnee Gross. Take care. Thanks, Howie. You're welcome, Oops. Good to see you again, Oops. Always a pleasure. And yeah, I always have a hard time. How the heck do I get out of here? Okay, end stream. Peace and love. Remember, if you're watching a replay, hit the thumbs up, share this out, and make Howie famous. They're programming you. Good stuff. I'm glad Miles was here. It was good stuff. Very level-headed gentleman. Yep. End stream now.